I'm Mick Manhattan. I know you're asking yourself, how does he look so damn good? I don't really know the answer to that question. I was just born this way. Maybe it's in the genes. Maybe I'm just an enigma. But thank you for watching nonetheless. I'm not full of myself. I promise you, I am just as amazing as I come off every episode. And I want to thank you for listening and watching with us. This episode, of course, is brought to you by Manscaped. One of my favorite devices in the world. They even gave me a nice little tote bag. How do you like that? Now, if you were asking yourself, well, Mick, what's Manscaped? Well, many of you, like me, years and years ago, found out you can actually shave your downstairs and make it nice and pretty for whomever you choose to share it with. Well, Manscaped helps you with that, and it is the pinnacle in shaving the downstairs. That type of technology comes once in a lifetime, and it has come in the form of the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. That's what this friendly little device is right here. And it keeps your family jewels all prim and proper, and they have plenty of other things to go around with it. They have the ball deodorant, they have the conditioner, they have everything else to keep you smelling and looking beautiful for whomever you decide to share it with, even if it's just the mirror. So thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting us with our sponsor, Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com and use promo code SNOBS, SNOBS, for 20% off and free shipping. And until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan.
Two, one.
What's going on, everybody? I am Mick Manhattan. I'm the host here of the Scene Snobs. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. As you know, the Scene Snobs Podcast is live every Tuesday night. I will say this. I am solo. I'm the first time solo. Truly fearful thing. I'm the first time solo in, no lie, almost a year. I used to do the show solo, but I have taken on the Madman, and he has shot this show to perfectionism, if you will. I can't speak without him. I'm really a mess without him. But I do have a great show for you planned tonight. We are going to be touching down on some very fun topics. I have two very special guests from the Showboys podcast. Mike and Nick are here, and they're joining us. We are so excited. So I'm going to bring them on. But before we do, I do have to say we have something else going on. Just earlier the other day was the Snobby Awards. And one of the winners, and I'm going to bring them up for Best Movie TV Podcast, Monster Movie Happy Hour, which is a truly great podcast. If you guys haven't heard of it or haven't listened to it, you should. They were unable to be there that day. They sent in during the show a very cool little video, which I'm going to play for you because I feel like everybody deserves their time to shine. They are winners of the category, and so I'm going to play that for you right now before I bring Mike and Nick on.
I'm Dave.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Mary, and we are the Monster Movie Happy Hour.
That's right, and we'd like to thank the Scene Snobs for awarding us the 2021 Snobby Award for Best Movie and TV Podcast. We're really thankful.
You know, it's really an honor because in the end it means that we just have even greater opportunity to share three of life's greatest gifts: cocktails, monster movies, and friendship. So thank you and cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
And we're back. And I just want to thank Monster Movie Happy Hour and congratulate them on their win. It was truly fantastic. Well deserved. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, congratulations.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for inviting us.
That was an experience. It was great.
You know, I have to say, we've been wanting to get you on for a while. Unfortunately, Casey couldn't be here, and I know he's really bummed. He just had some stuff he had to take care of. No, the poor guy, he deserves it. I will say this, though. We are, like, your show is one of my favorites, and I think I've talked about it on our show a few times. So, like, I do want to say, and I want to say it to everybody, if you haven't checked out the Showboys podcast, go check it out. But before we get started, I want you guys to tell us a little bit about the Showboys podcast.
Sure. So Nick and I have been working together for several years now at our day job, and one thing we would always do is talk about what movies or shows or games we were watching or playing. And last summer, early fall ish,
late summer,
we were just like, hey, why don't we do this as a podcast? We already talk about all this stuff anyways. So we started the Showboys, and we cover everything from TV shows, movies, video games, web series, all that content that's in between there.
And everything that touches it, which is great.
Yep.
That is awesome. And you know what? You guys have had some great shows recently, especially. I don't want to. You have great shows all the time, but recently you've been covering some really fun topics that I've just been like kind of going on and on about. But what is your planning process? We're going to get into the fun stuff in a second, but I do want to ask some questions and kind of get everybody aware of Showboys. Like, what's your planning process with everything? Like, how do you know week to week what you guys are going to go talking about?
Sometimes the planning process is good and well thought out, and then sometimes it's like, oh man, we have a podcast in 2 days. We should probably think of something to talk about. But I don't know, Nick. You wanna elaborate on our process?
Yeah, I guess we never really put ourselves in our episodes in a box, right? Because it's all very conversational, unscripted, just really what makes sense to talk about. So, I mean, we're always coming up with things to talk about on each episode. So really we're just kind of kicking different things down the path, and we try to keep up with what we think of to talk about, but also bring on like current happenings, right? So like Kong vs. Godzilla came out, we're going to do an episode on that, right? And kind of stay with some current topics, but then also touch on like the wider reaching things. So it's kind of a process. We kind of just kick ideas back and forth, and it's just a constant kicking of the cans.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering too, because you guys also have the companion series, which I was recently on for Falcon and Winter Soldier. But you never really seem to do too many. Like, you pick one show at a time.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about, like, is it just like you try to focus on like the bigger shows, or how do you pick your companion pieces?
So we've had 2 companion series so far. The first one was season 2 of The Mandalorian, and our most recent one was Falcon and Winter Soldier. We picked Mandalorian because Nick is like a Star Wars fanboy to the T. And, that just happened to be starting right around the time that, we were kicking around the podcast idea. And it happened to work out really well because new episodes released weekly on Disney Plus, and it wasn't like a Netflix release where they just throw the whole season out and you can binge the entire thing in like 8 hours. So unintentionally, we decided to go with a show like The Mandalorian because of the weekly release schedule, and it just gives you time to like really digest and talk about each episode each week. And for shows like that, at least me personally, when I'm watching something, I like to scour YouTube and be like, what are people saying about, WandaVision episode 2? Like, I got to see what, people are speculating and whatnot. So we try to pick shows that have the weekly release over like just throwing the entire season all at once on a streaming service. But we just like to pick what we enjoy watching, really, right, Nick?
Yeah, and part of it, we like to pick shows that play to both our strengths and weaknesses. So Mandalorian's a good example where I'm kind of like the Star Wars savant. Mike at the time knew nothing about Star Wars. He was just starting his Star Wars journey. So we thought that would be a really cool dynamic, right? Because he kind of would act as the audience as far as, it would prevent, two hosts from glazing over very obvious facts, to people who know everything about Star Wars. And Mike kind of played the role of, guiding and keeping the conversation. Yeah, right. So, I mean, and then like with Falcon and Winter Soldier, you got Mike, who is, I would say pretty average, maybe a little above average, tied into the MCU. But then you have Jordan, who is all in on the comics, and he knows the history and he knows all the stuff about it. And he obviously like predicted the whole entire thing. And we like to have that dynamic. And I think that's going to be a little trend we have with our upcoming companion series.
Yeah, and I think the shows that serve those companion series the best are shows that have like a wider cinematic universe, for lack of a better word. But like Mandalorian was great because the Star Wars universe is huge, and there was so many little Easter eggs and tie-ins from other shows and other Star Wars properties that like made it really fun to break down every episode, because you had to like really keep your eyes peeled to see what they were trying to throw in. And same thing with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We all know the MCU is massive and just continuing on as strong as it has ever been. So I don't know, we have another companion series coming up here next Sunday,
week. This Sunday is the episode 0 pre episode of the whole series
for the Bad Batch. Heading back to the Star Wars universe.
Back to Star Wars. Yeah, it's gonna be a long one. 14 episodes. It's a lot of weeks. I realized that after committing to it, I realized how long it was, and I was like, oh well.
I will say it does kind of work out in your favor, because like you'll do Mandalorian season 2, and then not too long after Falcon and Winter Soldier came up, and maybe a few months, but then like at least now you have the Bad Batch starting right out, and then probably Loki or something at that point.
Yeah, we're kicking around the idea of a Loki companion series. That show also would just be a great one, because there's going to be so much craziness in Loki, especially with them going down the TVA rabbit hole. And Loki's just a fun character, so that would be a really fun show to do.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. But I am glad that you mentioned Star Wars. I should plug right now, especially since he's not here. Next week is our special May the 4th be with you episode. As you can see, Casey and I go back a long way when it goes to.
I love the stash, man.
Oh yeah, and it was funny. I had a full beard that was down to my chest at that time, and like this was Halloween like 7 or 8 years ago. And I shaved it all off into a stash, and Casey was pissed because he's like, "We're getting Chewbacca and Han."
Yeah,
but we have a very special unsung hero of the Star Wars world of the original trilogy, who will be joining us for a special interview. I'm going to keep that a secret for now, and we are going to be playing a game called Stump Casey at Star Wars, and we're going to invite people to come in, ask him questions, and see if they can stump him. So it's going to be definitely exciting. I will say, I want to congratulate you guys on your win for Best Audio and Podcast.
Thank you.
You guys, and they can hear you right now as to why that is definitely a wonderful award for you guys to win, because you have fantastic audio, which is important.
Thank you. I was really surprised that we were able to take a Snobby home. I was honestly surprised that we even got nominated in the first place. So, it's such a distinguished award.
Hey, we're working on it. All right, I saw those Oscars. I know we're way more distinguished.
Best audio too. I guess we didn't realize how good we sound. I don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't. We don't. I guess pride ourselves, but now I guess we should. We won a Snobby off of it.
Yeah.
So.
And now I'm going to take every opportunity to, whenever I announce, maybe at beginning of episodes, like, hey, welcome to Showboys, an award-winning podcast. Like,
there you go.
I'm going to milk that cow dry.
You'll even have
already begun
with it. You have certificates, your shot glass trophy, and you will also get a PNG of the Snobby Award winner. So you'll be getting some stuff. It just takes time. You gotta give me a little time.
We all have time.
Yeah, but I am excited, definitely to see what you do with Bad Batch, because you have great companion series. But your show, your general show each week is so much fun to listen to. I listen to it mostly on, and please do not take offense to this, but I think it's amazing. I've told Mike this. I listen to it at night on Saturdays, Sundays when I'm relaxed, because you guys have such a soothing tone that I'm like, I can rest to this and just try and chill out and listen to it. Because I can't listen to a podcast where they're like in your face, when I'm trying to relax and chill out. I listen to the show boys.
Oh,
That's
well,
okay.
thank you.
It's great conversation as well.
Yeah, we try not to go over the top, I guess. We like to keep a nice even kilter.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
The conversational aspect too is something that we really try to, I guess, hammer home. Right. We try to keep the conversation during our episodes as natural and as organic as possible. So much so that when we do pick our topics, that's like all the other person knows about what's coming to the episode. We don't share notes or talk about the episode before we get on the episode at all. We're just like, hey, we're talking about Star Wars today. And then awesome. I feel like that really helps the conversation just stay natural and flow.
Well, that's a great way to be about it for, especially for podcasting, because it just keeps the conversation going. At this point, I don't think Casey and I are going to run out of things to talk about. We've been doing this together for way too long that we just turn anything into a conversation. And I'm not saying it's gold. I'm not saying it's this is not a compliment to us. I'm just saying, we just don't get bored of talking. Oh, that paper straw. That's a wonderful paper straw. And then we can just go on for about an hour. But doesn't mean you'll like it.
Well, don't sell yourself short. I've been listening to you guys for several months now. The Tuesday podcast is always entertaining and fun.
We appreciate that. And it's definitely the topics. I have to say that because they're always a lot more fun than we are. In fact, tonight's topic, and for anybody watching, please feel free in the comments to join in. We're going to be talking about movies that everybody hates and say are terrible, but you can't help but love them. And it could be multiple movies. And I wanted to ask you guys, I know let's do this out to you. Let's name one for now, and then we can always kind of keep going down the line. I don't even want to call these guilty pleasures. I want to call these movies that when you tell people, they kind of give you that look like, really? Seriously? And I'm going to kick it off because I know a lot of people. All right. I love the Eddie Murphy movies, not just the old ones.
All of them.
So I love Metro. I love Showtime. I love Pluto Nash. They're terrible. They're terrible. But I love them, and I love him in them. I just think he's great, and I don't understand why they get so much hate.
Yeah, so what what's the factor for you? Is it just Eddie Murphy, or
he's definitely he has to be one of the factors for sure.
Right.
I didn't understand all the hate on the sequel of Coming to America because it got a lot of people saying they liked it, but I also got a lot of people saying they hated it, and I was like, really? I was like, because you guys really hate a lot of his stuff. Where I'm like, do you have to hate this? The Haunted Mansion, was it really that terrible?
Right.
Does it really stick out as Pluto Nash? I don't know. I know it's not great, but for what it is, I'm like, it's a space caper movie. Whatever, it's fun.
Right. Yeah, I think that just across the board, some people go into certain movies with the wrong idea. I find myself, just on a personal level, I enjoy most of what I watch just across the board. I guess I'm a lot like, I don't know, Kevin Smith, I guess, who if you listen to any of his shows, he barely ever talks bad about anything that he's seen. And I don't know.
Appreciates the art.
Yeah, and on top of it, okay, you go to see Jurassic Park 3, right? You're not going to see the most like life-changing, plot line, like the most genre-bending storytelling. You're going to see dinosaurs like fight other dinosaurs and Chris Pratt ride on a motorcycle or something. I don't know. So like when movies like that get a ton of hate, it's like, what were you expecting to see, really? Like, were the dinosaurs fighting each other? Were those scenes cool? Okay, then that's good for me, right?
Yeah, you get a lot of that too, where it comes back and forth, and people hate the Transformers movies, but then they're like, Pacific Rim is the best, and I'm like, it's the same shit.
That's a good pick. Transformer movies, Michael Bay movies in general.
Yeah, exactly.
I listen. He does not deserve the hate he gets. He does not deserve the hate. Am I saying his stories?
I agree with you.
By no means. No, I know. I'm talking to the people out there.
Yeah.
He does, like, Six Underground. Was it a great movie? No, but like, if I'm watching Fast and the Furious, stop putting Michael Bay down. Like, don't tell me go watch every Fast and the Furious movie, which is actually kind of funny because somebody just commented every Fast and Furious movie except for 2. And I would disagree with you. I like 2.
Yeah.
I like 2.
That captured a time. That captured a period in like America right there.
That's a perfect way to put it. It was and you know what it was? They each kind of had a different feel to them, and that was like the Dukes of Hazzard Adventures vibe. And I was like, I'm down with this. I'm fine with this.
Right.
I'd say my least favorite is probably Tokyo Drift, and I will still watch it.
Right.
I'll still go there. But that is a good choice. With those series. But like, I don't understand how people can say Ishtar, nice. I like it. I don't understand how people can give so much hate to something. Like, again, let's go back to the Eddie Murphy movies I was talking about. You look at Pluto Nash and you're like, and I just have to go with that one. You look at Pluto Nash and you're just like, just aesthetically, it looks cool. It's a cool looking movie aesthetically. Take out the acting, take out the story, all that stuff you really truly can judge. And I have people I know who are just like, I can't believe you like this movie, and they're filmmakers, and I'm just like, but I've seen your movies. And they don't look like this, and that's a problem. Maybe your story is better, and that's great. But strive for better to look. These movies look good. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of the people who give hate to, a lot of fans or audience rather, give hate to movies like this, and I'm just like Daredevil, I get.
Yeah,
that's the one I get. Like,
that was pretty awful. It was just awful.
I'm like, whatever, but I'll still watch it if it's on TV because it's still Daredevil in action.
What about Green Lantern?
Yeah, because Ryan Reynolds is a darling, and I love him.
Yeah,
true. It's hard to not watch what he does.
Blake Lively is gorgeous. Ryan Reynolds is funny. Taika Waititi's funny in it. You still get a Green Lantern movie. It may not be great, but it's still Green Lantern.
Valid points.
Now, am I telling, like, am I going to tell my kids, like, you guys should check out Green Lantern? No. I'm going to say watch 89 Batman. That's where this goes. And that, but
I have to report you to CPS there if you did that.
Right? I will let my kids stumble upon this stuff and make their own choices.
There you go.
But the Phantom, that's another good one. These are some really good choices. But I want to hear from my guests because I know I've talked a lot. So I'm going to shut up. And I want to hear some movies that you love that people hate.
Why don't you start us off, Nick?
Okay. I mean, you kind of did 3. I feel like rattling off 3 just to match your 3. But
go for it.
Adam Sandler movies. I mean, the newer ones, like, people seem not to like them, but somebody's watching them, on Netflix because they keep making them and they're not unpopular, but no one's going to be like, oh, that's a great movie. They're worth watching at least once. And if Netflix worked more like television, you'd be stuck watching them. I don't know when the effect of Netflix kicks in where you just like randomly click like, oh, I've seen that. Let's watch it again. The watch it again section. But I think, and I can't broadly find anyone that's ever like big hoorahs with me here, but like X-Men First Class, like I love that movie. Those ones right there with all the new actors, they're younger and all that stuff. But every time I'm ever like, oh, those are great. Like, can I, I need those in my life. Everyone's just like, meh. I'm like, come on.
I think First Class is one of the best ones.
Yeah.
And real quick before you say your third one, because we did get a comment. Oh, I love the X-Men First Class movie. George says, GNN says 50 First Dates, Blended and Click. Those are his three best, in my opinion.
Click was a
Wedding Singer should be on there.
Right.
Wedding Singer probably before Click, but I love Click.
Just that part when he like is in the hospital bed and he's flopping his stomach around. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's my fat and I'll do whatever I want with it.
Yeah. Yes.
Nick, you got to tell me the next one, man, because I know we're going to be kindred spirits on this one.
All right. Maybe. The Warcraft movie. Ooh. I mean, me and Mike are big fans of that, and that was just a stinker in the box office, and it basically killed it here in America. Hope China's carrying some hope for us and seeing a second one, but I thought that movie was just awesome. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that movie other than it's just too much fan service to the fans, but there's at least 20 million World of Warcraft fans out there. So that would be enough to do some profits. I mean, I don't know. I mean, come on.
I can't even believe I totally forgot about that movie, but you're so right. That was such a great movie.
I liked World of Warcraft. I never played World of Warcraft. I don't know any of the storylines. I'm not into the game or anything. I'm not against it, but
that's even better.
Going in, I didn't know anything, and that helped me.
Nice.
That's even better. See, we got someone who does not know anything about it like the movie because it's a good movie.
Yeah,
I thought so. So how about you, Mike? What do you got for me?
Well, first off, I asked my wife this because I was having a hard time coming up with my list, and she was just like, everything that you watch, I hate. Like I can barely get through. So yeah, that aside, probably the most polarizing one on my list is Batman vs Superman. It's like top 3 favorite movies for me, and literally every time I say that, especially if someone knows I have a podcast about movies and shows, they're like, what's wrong with you? Like,
your show
did
sucks.
You see the same Batman vs Superman I did?
All you guys talk about is DC and the Snyderverse. Go away.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, when I watched it in theaters, I was very let down. Being a comic book fan and growing up and loving those storylines that they were just kind of throwing together. But when I watched the Ultimate Edition not too long ago, I fell in love with it.
Yes. Yeah. So. I don't know. I love the Snyderverse take on Batman. I love Ben Affleck as Batman, which also gets me a lot of slack. But I don't know. I like, as much as I like comic accurate things, I also appreciate, some room for creative vision, right, and interpretation by the creator. So the different take on Batman that we're used to seeing, especially over like the last 20 years or so, it was interesting and not really expected. So I think that like scored at some points in my book.
Yeah, and I don't care what anybody says. I remember at that moment when Ben Affleck showed up as Batman and said that he was going to direct his own Batman movie. Everybody was on board. I don't care what anybody says.
I know.
In the beginning when he was first announced, people were like, and then they saw like he got in shape for it, and then the movie finally came out, and they were like, he's still a good Batman. I want to see his movie.
Yeah,
and I still do.
Yeah, same. And just like, I don't know, having an older Batman who's like super, well, at least at that point was
jaded,
like jaded, cynical, like he was just over what he was trying to do his entire life, right, as Batman, just defeated and ready to hang up the cowl. And you saw in that movie he was just didn't care about his code anymore, like he was just done. Mm-hmm. And then seeing the change in character in Justice League and his like redemption arc, I guess. I don't know. I love that movie. It's still one of my favorite movies. It probably will be for a long time.
That's awesome. That's a good choice, but I feel like it's going to be more beloved as we go on now that people like the new Justice League movie. I have a feeling, especially the Ultimate Edition, is going to be more beloved. So I am looking forward to it. Seeing that happen and maybe getting more, maybe not from Zack Snyder, but more of that situation.
Fingers crossed. Right there with you.
Game movie Battleship. That was a tough one.
Battleship.
That was a tough
No,
one.
I forgot they made that
That's
movie.
worth watching like multiple times. That's a good just have on TV. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that I don't know, but I'm actually a game movie that I'm actually anxious for right now is New Guy or The Guy or whatever with Ryan Reynolds, where he just plays like a guy in a video game who is just kind of an everyday person, keeps getting killed, and then he decides to become a hero in the game.
Yeah, that does look pretty interesting. I'm surprised that it hasn't hasn't that like the trailer for that movie been out for quite some time. Like I feel like that movie should have already come out if it hasn't already. New Guy. Or is it already out?
It's supposed to be out in December, but I don't know what happened. Free Guy is what it's called.
Free Guy. I agree with that last comment about Keaton, though. He's a great Batman. Here's
why he is a great Batman. He's 100% a great Batman. I'm glad he's coming back. But here's why I'm gonna tell you that you're wrong, George. In the most loving way possible. I would be fine with Keaton being the only Batman throughout all of these years, but he left. And when an actor leaves a role like that, fine by me. But we gotta let go the love for that one person. We gotta. Now, I'm not saying you have to love everybody who's been in that role since, but you gotta at least like respect a lot of them who stepped up and tried.
Speaking of Keaton, have you seen that movie Birdman?
Great movie. Oh yeah, I love that movie.
I love that movie. So good.
And even that caught some crap, and I was like, that was a good movie. It's like people are forgetting.
And it's always those like one-off movies that just catch all the extra hate for no reason. You're like, this doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, but like Eddie Murphy movies, they're the joy of everyone's life right now, and they just don't know it. One movie I will bring. I keep going back to Eddie Murphy, and this is not. I swear to God, this is not.
Welcome to the Eddie Murphy Show.
It's your pick. You can go back to it as much as you want.
Well, one of the best movies Eddie Murphy ever made was Bowfinger with Steve Martin, and being a filmmaker in Los Angeles, and having lived that life, a lot of the things that they do in guerrilla style filmmaking, you're just like, yeah, I know that. I've done that. This has happened. And a lot of it's like very exaggerated, but still like there's a base of truth in there, and that filmmakers only get, Mm-hmm. So that's why that movie will always be endearing to me, but it was also just a really good movie. But because of the movies that surrounded it that get so much hate that Eddie Murphy did, I think that one catches a lot of crap because I either find people who've never seen it or who just kind of remember it as like, no, that was one of Eddie Murphy's bad ones during those years. And I was like, this is one of the best movies he's ever done. And you people are idiots for not watching it.
Yes. Bunch of dorks.
So if anybody hasn't seen it, I do suggest you get out there and check it out. But and check out Pluto Nash, check out Showtime, why not?
Flubber.
No, Robin Williams. Anything Robin Williams was in, I will watch. I don't care. I don't care what people say. Tell me Robin Williams, even if it's a bad movie, he was great in it.
I can agree with that.
You better agree with that. You better do it a little more lively. Listen, I want you guys being like, yeah, you're damn right, Robin Williams was the man. That's a national treasure right there.
Yeah.
I don't
want to give people the wrong impression about our docile tones. I don't want to get too excited for him after you set us up.
You better get excited. Listen, I'm missing the Madman tonight. The Madman is the one that brings all the pep.
And he is a crazy person. He is literally a nut. He's nutty.
He is, but it's such a beautiful way. Robin Williams' best, Dead Post Society. Oh my God, George, you're killing me, man. I'm kidding, of course. Dead Post Society is a wonderful movie, but I don't know that I can get behind it. One of Robin Williams' bests because he was in it so little. He was only in it for like 20 minutes in the movie.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But he has like that speech that everyone just freaking loves in the classroom.
But his monologue from Good Will Hunting, when he's talking about Will, and he's just like, "You don't know anything about life. You've never been out of Boston." That's his best speech, in my opinion. And then you have Good Morning Vietnam, which was hilarious and great and wonderful. And then you have Popeye. Everybody shits on him. Popeye was amazing. I love Popeye, and he was brilliant in it.
Yes.
Robert Altman, treasure. These are all treasures right here. Don't you tilt back. I saw you wearing your pajama bottoms.
Hey, man. It's my podcasting attire, you know?
Don't feel
spoil
bad.
The secret.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody, they're black, so like if I tilt back, everybody's going to be like...
He only has half a torso. Yeah. Plus, it's like my basement is always ridiculously cold, so I basically get hypothermia every episode too.
Where are you guys living?
Yep, up in Northeast Ohio.
I knew that. And you guys just got snow.
Yep, last week. It was real nice. Went from like 75 to 3 inches of snow the next day.
Yeah. It's 80 today.
You guys need to stop it. All right, seriously. Tell Ohio to cool it.
We're in these basements. We can't really control what's going on in the outside world. Yeah. We don't care.
Yeah, you should have known we were from Ohio. We're indie podcasters. That's where everyone's
true.
from.
That is true. Everybody's from Ohio except for me. I think it's me, Jeff Dvoskin, and some nobodies are from like anywhere else.
Yeah, you guys are close neighbors, though.
Yeah, that makes you wonder.
I'm close to you. I'm close to you guys. Not that far. Like 6 hours.
Jeff's a Michigan guy, right? So he's right on the other side of us.
Is that the running joke, though, that everyone's from Ohio? Like, that always sneaks its way into a lot of movies, the Ohio reference, because everyone escapes from Ohio, goes to Hollywood, and becomes somebody.
I mean, there are a lot of musicians from Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, like
astronauts. Ohio has the most amount of astronauts than any other state. Apparently. And serial killers. I heard we have a few of those. We got a North Texas crew here. That's awesome. I love it.
Very nice. Very nice.
Jeff. Great. George, of course, is from Ohio. Ohio.
Yes, IO. IO, baby.
And we're back to 80 today.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. I don't care about the weather in Ohio. Okay?
Neither does Ohio.
I care about so many damn podcasters from Ohio. There are so many. I feel like if there's ever a podcaster convention,
it's got to be in Ohio.
No, Kentucky, just to meet some people halfway.
That would be a good one. I want Nashville, Tennessee, man.
There we go.
Good music, get hammered, meet everybody that Ohio has ever produced.
Yep.
You know, because they'll all be there.
Get us out of Ohio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get me out of Virginia.
Yeah.
I guess when the Snobby Awards is actually in a palace somewhere.
There you go.
You know, we can afford to do an actual show. Then everybody from Ohio can show up.
Maybe 2 years from now, you can rent out the Horseshoe over in Columbus, and we can pack that place out. Have the 3rd annual Snobby Awards.
Here's the thing: if the Snobby Awards ever becomes a big thing, and it becomes like a main award type thing for podcasters. You know that the National Hall of Fame of Podcasters is going to be in Ohio because that's where every Hall of Fame is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Got the Football Hall of Fame, you got the Rock Hall of Fame, and we're going to have the Podcaster Hall of Fame somewhere in between.
This will make Mike happy. We'll put it in Akron.
Oh, no. Akron is the worst.
But it needs a Hall of Fame. You got the football in Canton. You got the rock and roll in Cleveland. You said in between. We're not putting in Macedonia.
I will say, my favorite part of The Boys on Amazon Prime, definitely the Akron line. Like, I was crying on my couch because I could not agree anymore.
Isn't that where they sent the what's his name?
It's where they sent the deep. Oh no, they
sent him to Sandusky.
Sent him to Sandusky, and they're like, well, at least it's not Akron.
Yeah. Oh God!
I was like, yes, you get it. You guys get it.
Oh man, what is wrong with Akron? I think it's got a great name.
Yeah, it's a great city. Mike's just a hater.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you guys, you know, coming down from it, I have met a lot of people during podcasting that are great people from Ohio, yourselves included, and a lot of great filmmakers. Independent filmmakers are from Ohio as well. I find, and I watch their stuff, and those aren't the ones where I'm just like, go watch Pluto Nash and learn how to shoot a movie. Those are not the ones. They're elsewhere. But Jesus, I can't believe I just said that. Because you know that's going to be a sound bit somewhere at some time, and it's just like, that comes from me.
George already clipped it.
No, don't do it, George. It's out of context. But you know, we talked about movies. We didn't really get too deep into them, but I want to ask you guys before we go there. What are some of your favorite? Because this is a movie podcast, we do mostly movies and TV. Mm-hmm. What are some of your movies that inspired you? Can't say Star Wars.
No, Star Wars doesn't inspire me. It entertains me. That's about it. Two different things.
Great line.
Yeah,
it's a great line.
Yeah, you don't have to be inspired to be entertained, and vice versa. So, man, that's a tough one. Inspired me.
Yeah, that is a tough question.
All right. Well, think about that one, but I'm going to ask you another one.
Okay.
Everybody has TV remote dropper movies. That means, and I'm going to use my Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 to prove my point. The pinnacle of shaving technology. Use promo code SNOBS, SNOBS, for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Anyway, so.
That was a smooth plug you had there.
Well,
yeah. Smooth as your...
All right. So you're watching TV. You know, some people still do that. A movie is on, and you're just like, that's it. I'm just sitting and watching. I'm not doing anything else until this is over. Give me your top 5 remote dropper movies.
Top 5. I can hit you with 2 real quick. Now, wait, first, let me ask. These don't have to be movies that are actually on TV right now, right? Just any movie that
if it was on. Like if it shows up on TV, that's the one that's going to stop.
Superbad, 100%. I will watch that like 700 times over and over again. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I will stop what I'm doing like immediately and watch that. Nick, throw some out while I think of my other 3.
All right, Iron Man. If any of those are on, watching that.
Okay.
Pineapple Express.
Ooh.
If that's on, watching that. Fast and the Furious. You can't not watch those when they're on TV. 007, if one of those is on, it's going to pull you in. I think that was 4. Mike, back to you. I'll think of a 5th.
Okay. Princess Bride, I would stop and watch.
Yeah.
So that's 3. All right, Mick, you go. I got to think of 2 more. My brain doesn't work
I've got
well.
them. They're loaded. They're in the chamber, ready to go. All right, Jaws is one of them. Back to the Future is the one that literally, if it's on, my wife gets pissed if I'm flipping through and we have to go out somewhere and Back to the Future's on. She's just like, no, come on. Shawshank Redemption is another one.
Okay.
What is it? Roadhouse is another one. If it's on TV, I'm just like, I'm watching this because it's amazing. A Few Good Men is one.
Nice.
And there's a few Star Trek movies. Like if Wrath of Khan is on, I'll stop and watch it. If 4 is on, The Voyage Home, I will watch it. 6 is my favorite one in the series, so I'll watch that anytime. And First Contact, I will definitely watch.
Okay.
So like those types of movies, like if those are on TV, I'm in. I'm ready.
Another one that pops into my mind because I've literally stopped what I was doing to watch this was 300. Whenever that's on TV.
Oh yeah,
nice. That's a good one. The Natural for inspirational movie. I love that, George. That's a really great one. Remote Droppers, Shawshank Redemption. Nice. Troy,
Gladiator. Yeah,
Men in Black. Men in Black's so good.
Troy and Gladiator, solid ones.
Like that first one. Oh,
it's classic. So good. I like them all. Like the second one, I get. I don't understand all the hate. Again, that's another one that I don't assume to hate, but I do know that it's inferior to 1 and 3. In my opinion, was the best. And Demolition Man's a great choice. Also, if Rocky 4 or Rocky 3 are on, usually I'm like, I'm watching this.
Can't go wrong with those for sure. So when you say what movie inspires you, what do you really mean? Like, how inspired?
I'm talking just any kind of general inspiration. Like if there's something like, if a movie pops on, like for me, like perfect example is I was a football player in high school. I was actually played a lot of different sports, but like football was one that, I bought into the cult. Like when we had the speeches and stuff like that, I was like, I'm going to play harder than ever before. So like something like Any Given Sunday, when he gives that speech at the end, I mean, the whole movie I love, but when he gives that speech in the end, I'm fired up. I want to go work out. Like, or like Rocky 4, when Hearts on Fire starts playing and that whole montage comes up, I'm like, I'm in 100%. Let's go lift some boulders. But like also like inspired writing, stuff like that. Like if I watch Casablanca or I watch, some older movies, like I'm like, I need to sit down and just write for a while. So like movies that will be on. Back to the Future inspires me in a way that's like, I just need to be creative when I watch it. I need to do something creative because it's my favorite movie of all time. And it's one of those movies that just like the nostalgia hits for me. The inspiration of the movie, still to this day, I've seen it got to be over 400 times. And that's not even an exaggeration. Like I've seen it like way too many times. And I when I watch it, I'm like, it's still like the thrills me at the end. Like, is he going to make it? I know he makes it. I've seen it enough. But I'm still like, is he going to make it? Is he going to hit it in time? Is he going to get there to plug it in time? Like, it still gets me every time. But that inspires me to be like very creative. Maybe I'll draw or I'll, write or something like that.
Yeah.
But sports movies inspire me, like working out or keep going. Invincible is a great choice. That's another one that's pretty inspiring for me. So like just anything that inspires you to better yourself.
Okay. To go off of like creative inspiration, I would say like Cloverfield, which sounds weird, but I loved the ARG that they did for Cloverfield, like in their promotion for the movie. So I don't know if you're familiar with that or if your listeners are familiar with that or what ARGs are in general, but they're alternate reality. Yeah, we do have an episode on ARGs, but basically it's like an interactive, it's called alternate reality game, but basically it's a way to engage your audience in the storytelling. And what Cloverfield did was they dropped a lot of like clues and movie posters and made fake real websites from corporations that were in the movie but not really like explicitly shown in the movie, but they were just kind of like side stories or whatever happening behind the scenes. And the ARG for the first Cloverfield is so crazy. Like you can go, there's tons of videos on YouTube explaining it all, but just like the level of creativity that went into creating that ARG for that movie just always inspires me to be like, I wish I could do something that creative. So just go do something with your mind, like try to do something creative. But yeah, I guess like any ARG really kind of does that for me, but Cloverfield's probably the most like mainstream ARG that people might have experienced,
Oh yeah. I will tell you this too, in terms of especially having been a filmmaker and like being a content creator now, anything by Quentin Tarantino. If I watch something by Quentin Tarantino, like I get in a very creative mood.
Yes.
Right. Long dialogue, just the writing there, how it all pieced together.
But all of his dialogue, as long as it is, it's still snappy and it keeps you engaged.
It's not long if you like that kind of stuff. Like it all just flows very well together. And that's the way he writes and the way he sets that all up. That's where you're thinking about lines that were said an hour ago in the movie because of dialogue that's being said. You're like, holy crap, like that conversation is still going, or that, that piece of dialogue still matters now. Like everything's just snuck in there.
Yeah, for sure. Len says, co-host of BTB podcast, Under Siege 2, so bad it's great. Classic one-liners. It's all great action. I will tell you, Yeah, I definitely get that when you say, like, it does catch a lot of hate, but still you got to kind of love it. But one of the things that inspired this was because DMX died. I watched Exit Wounds recently. I didn't seek it out. It was on TV. It was not a remote trucker moment, but I was like, DMX died. Let me watch this. And Michael Jai White's in it, and I will watch anything with Michael Jai White. But so I sat and I watched it, and I'm just like, man, Seagal, you're just not good, man. Just not good. It's so sad.
That the Steven Seagal hype train back then, I still don't get it. Like,
if you go down the rabbit hole of like Steven Seagal, he started out as building up to be an action star because when the martial arts movie boom happened in the 80s and 90s, he was like somebody who stepped up, a good-looking guy who could do martial arts. He was a poor man's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right.
But Jean-Claude Van Damme started out as a poor man's like Chuck Norris. You're like, but it's Chuck Norris, and you're like, what happened here? Like, it's like, that's a rabbit hole that's just kind of like the snake that's eating its own tail.
Yeah. Things that came out of the 80s is a mixed bag of just, hindsight. Like looking back on it, you're like, some stuff is just amazing. Other stuff is super questionable. Like,
people forget.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris was a movie star when he went to Walker, Texas Ranger. He chose that life to be home by his He was like, I'm going to be out of movies and go to this TV show to be with my kids. And you look at it and you're just like, he was a legit, people thought he was stupid for leaving movies to go to TV. And that was like a 9 or 10 year TV show.
Yeah.
That was remade. That's right. The show's been remade. So like, I'm just like, what was the 80s? Was it the Breakfast Club movies that we remember, or was it this?
Right. No one will ever know. No one will ever know.
The Perfect Weapon. Oof, I don't know if I remember that. I don't know if I want.
Oh, my wife told me that I also needed to bring up Anna and the Apocalypse for movies that I love that everyone hates.
People hate that. I love that movie.
Okay, I have a funny story though. I have like a new blossoming friendship in my neighborhood with a dad that lives down the street. Our daughters go to school together, and we would get together, watch the Cleveland Browns games, this season or whatever. And we had this nice like blossoming friendship going. And I was like, hey, you like movies? It's around Christmas time. I have this great Christmas movie you should watch. It's really cool. Just don't look anything up about it. Just watch it. Trust me. Like, don't worry about it. He's like, what is it? I was like, go just throw on Anna and the Apocalypse. It's great. And I get a text like 45 minutes later. He's like, what is this? He's like, I'm not saying I hate it, but I'm also not saying that I like it.
Why did you recommend it? That's the question.
I was like, okay, maybe that was a poor first recommendation for a new friendship, but we're still friends, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, everyone I've told to watch that movie has hated it. I loved it though, and I know you're a fan of it.
I love that movie. That movie for me, like hands down, was just wonderful in so many ways. And I don't know how people don't like that movie. The music's original. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, how can you go wrong with a Christmas musical in a zombie apocalypse? I mean,
it's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's genius.
I can listen to that soundtrack just unironically. Just listen to it.
It's not bad.
Len says, Chuck Norris, by the time he started the TV show, he was already a washed-up movie star. No, he was not. No, he was not.
You say that to Chuck Norris's face.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What?
No, he was in, because that started in 1993, and he had movies that went past that were hits. So, he was not a washed-up movie star. He had Hellbound was actually a pretty big hit for him, and that came out in 94. So, Sidekicks came out like a year before that, and that was actually a pretty big movie. You had The Hitman, that was pretty, and now listen, I'm not saying that with the top earning movies of those years, they were, were the best. But like for Chuck Norris was a movie star, and those movies were hits. He was a draw. So he started doing a TV show in the middle of that ran for 10 years. Jesus Christ. I can't even know it. My wife says she thinks The Departed is a stupid movie, and I love it.
Oh my God. Such a good movie. Inspired. I'm inspired by that movie.
Yeah, 100%. I love that movie. George, you keep on loving it. It's a great movie. Okay, fine. Sidekicks. Shut your mouth, Len. I will say, listen, guys, we are coming up. I do appreciate you coming on tonight. This is a lot of fun conversation. I think we've learned a lot about each other.
Yeah. We like, as always, we love, hanging out with you, and thank you so much for having us on your show.
Well, I need to ask you guys each one question. You need to answer me honestly.
Okay.
Do you like the Scene Snobs podcast more than Akron?
Yes.
No.
I mean, you could not even have a podcast and ask me if you like your podcast more than Akron. I would say yes.
Nick, you're a bastard and I hate you, but I
thank you. That's my role. That's my role here.
Your honesty was
you like, Nick thinks I'm joking, but my hatred for Akron is real. It is true.
God damn it.
I do not like Akron.
My love for it is true as well. So we divergent there.
I just want to thank you and everybody. You need to go check out the Showboys podcast. It's so much fun. You can check them out if you're on my YouTube. They're actually linked below. I linked their show.
Thanks,
my favorites. I often share your stuff, so you can always check them out. But just go look them up. Showboys podcast, Snobby Award winner. If that means
award-winning podcast.
Best in audio.
I like how you're taking out the snobby part and you're just like award-winning.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and hey, we've had you on a couple episodes. You were the first interview that we had ever done, which was a super fun episode. So you should check that out. And then, like you said earlier, you were on our Falcon and Winter Soldier penultimate episode, which was a really good episode.
It was. So, you guys are kicking ass with your shows, man. They're so much fun to listen to, and you guys are very well informed. So it's just a good time. So everybody needs to go check out the Showboys podcast. Stop screwing around. After you listen to this show, go check them out. It's a perfect companion piece. So
listen to this man. Also, Mick, give me your Venmo after this so I can slide you that corner.
That's how I make the money.
That's right. You thought it was Manscaped, but it's all these paid plugs from Showboys.
I want to say, everybody, thank you for watching right now, and anybody who listens in the future, really appreciate you. You guys are amazing human beings. Remember to check out our sponsors, Manscaped. Again, our promo code is Snobs, and you can go to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. You can also head over to Kimball's Cookies on the Facebook and order some delicious cookies. They've been a wonderful sponsor for us for quite a while now, and we love them. They taste delicious. So until next time, I will say this. Go check out Carpool Shenanigans at 10:30. They have a great show tonight, so it's going to be a lot of fun. They're hilarious. A little more risque, but you need to get in there, and you need to watch them because the sexiness and the vulgarness just adds to the beauty. But yeah, so until next time, my partner Madman will be back for our very special Star Wars episode next week. I'm Mick Manhattan. Go check out the scenesnobs.com. Go check out the Showboys podcast. And we love you, so we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Peace.
Everybody say goodbye again, because I forgot to.
Goodbye.
Second goodbye.
Now here's the outro. We love you, everybody. Take care. And that's our show, everybody. Thanks for listening or watching, wherever you're checking it out. This show is brought to you by our sponsor, Manscaped. Go check them out. They are saving our balls, and they can save yours too, or somebody you care about. It's a pretty awesome device, so go check out what they got, the Lawnmower 3.0, the Weed Whacker, and more. It's a great gift for Father's Day, birthdays, weddings, anything. So yeah, head over there and use promo code SNOBS, SNOBS, and you'll get 20% off and free shipping. Also, we'd like to thank our super fan patrons. They are all Scene Snob family to us. They support us every month, and you can be one too. So head over to the Patreon channel, the Scene Snobs, and it's $5 a month, and you can join in with helping support us and get the free perks too. Also, you can follow us on social media. We are on everything at the Scene Snobs, so Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are on Facebook, the Scene Snobs. Everywhere. We have fun stuff always going on, always have contests and stuff, so go follow us, check us out. You can go to our link tree by going to thescenesnobs.com. There's our link tree, there's our Patreon, there is all of our shows and the links for all of that, so thanks again for checking it out. Just head over to thescenesnobs.com where everything is, and we will talk to you soon.